Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Hetal311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. Today we're going over all of the new releases planned to drop in the month of September, and while there are a handful of exciting titles on today's list, but if you're looking for more of the AAA caliber stuff, those games don't start dropping until next month. Now there are of course links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead in today's video, but let's start things off like normal with the titles that are new to the Quest Plus subscription service. For those of you looking for something similar to Call of Duty, we have Zero Caliber Reloaded. This was a classic PCVR shooter that was eventually ported to the Quest, and it features a full co-op campaign with plenty of unlockables. So if you and a buddy both have Quest Plus, I recommend you go check this game out together. Now if you're more of a single player puzzle type of guy, you're also getting access to We Are One. This is a truly unique puzzle style shooter where you need to make clones of yourself, reverse time, and then work together to complete a mission. It's definitely one of those games that has a unique feel that only really works in VR, so I highly recommend you check it out. Now Meta has also added 2 new games to the ongoing catalog for Quest Plus, and that includes the original Arizona Sunshine and Synth Riders. Arizona Sunshine was basically one of the first VR zombie shooters. It was way ahead of its time, features a full co-op campaign, multiple different horde mode levels for maximum replayability, so if you've never got around to playing it, it's another easy recommendation. The same also goes for the rhythm game Synth Riders. This is easily Beat Saber's biggest competition, but it has a much different feel and kind of naturally gets you dancing. You can play it casually to just loosen up and have a good time, or crank up the difficulty and give yourself a serious challenge. Now one of my favorite elements of this game is their handful of experience-driven songs, where it's not about getting a high score, but rather just going on some epic, almost psychedelic journey through VR. But let's move into this month's new games, starting with Starwave. This is another new take on the rhythm genre, and now you'll be slicing your way through the beat of the universe. So this is definitely similar to other games like Beat Saber and Synth Riders, but they're also pushing this high adrenaline space theme, and there's a few additional features like a stargazer mode, daily challenges, and hidden collectibles throughout the missions. So if you're looking for a new rhythm game, you might want to check out Starwave. But for the shooter fans, we're getting Rampage Agents. Rampage Agents almost appears to be a combination of hero shooter, battle royale, and PvE title. There's a large array of weapons and special abilities to unlock over time, allowing for some broad character customization. There's an adventure mode with roguelike elements that features over 12 hours of gameplay, and an online battle royale mode for you to test your skills. Now the early access reviews for this game are actually quite positive, and I'm suddenly intrigued to check this one out. Now if you're more of a sports fan, the football title Pro Era 2025 was just announced. Now this still features officially licensed NFL material, but in the 2025 edition, you're not only taking on the role of quarterback, but you could also practice your linebacker skills. They're also going to be including monthly content updates, so if you're looking for a sports title or you're already a Pro Era fan, it might be time to jump back in. But let's move over to a mature themed game with Chernobyl Again. This is an adventure title that's actually designed after 3D scans of the real-life Chernobyl exclusion zone. The gameplay promises some interesting plot twists, as your main goal will be to travel through time and space and prevent Chernobyl from ever exploding. Now in order to do that, you'll have to solve some complex puzzles, and once again a new release is suddenly intriguing me. Originally from the trailer I thought they were aiming for an Into the Radius clone, but this sounds completely different and I like the direction they went in. Now sticking with a bit of a horror theme but moving into PvP, we have Mannequin. This is a unique game of cat and mouse combined with prop hunt. One team takes on the role of agents, trying to track down these alien creatures that can freeze people in time. And those creatures have the reverse goal, aiming to take down the agents, but they bring a truly unique skill to the table, namely the ability to camouflage in plain sight. As an alien creature, anytime you stop moving, you will take on the role of just another frozen human mannequin. Now agents will have some tools to help track you down, but it's really anyone's game and one wrong move will cost you. Now I'm thinking about doing a video with a bunch of other content creators where we play this, and if you're interested in seeing that, please let me know down in the comments right now. I've already played the game's early access and they should be a ton of fun with friends. Now speaking of fun with friends, it looks like our next game might just need them to be any fun at all, or maybe I'm just being way too harsh on this game's trailer. Extinction is an arcade-style shooter that you can play in both single-player and co-op modes, and it looks like you'll be blasting through some low-polygon zombie and demon-like creatures. There's also 10 different maps to explore, epic boss battles, and a full progression system with character customization. Now again, I'll reserve judgment until I actually try this game, but overall it's just not looking fantastic. And I'll also reserve my judgment for Hotel R&R Rockstar Simulator. This is an older PCVR title that's being ported to the Quest, and it'll basically have you going through a series of different levels where you get to trash everything with some awesome physics-based destruction. Now I never played the original, but it does sound kind of fun and cathartic, but I think most of us feel like VR should be moving beyond these tech demo style games. And on that note, the next title is another rhythm game, Dance Dance Dance. It looks like it plays similar to Synth Riders, but now you'll be dancing around and popping bubbles. and there's also an array of different challenge modes where you could go up against up to 5 people online at a time. Now, you won't find me trying to master my moves with this one anytime soon, but I'd love to know down in the comments if this is something that my audience is actually interested in. I'm definitely not expecting Dance 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 to be my audience's type of game, unlike the next title, Into the Radius, which is making its way onto the PlayStation VR 2. The classic and highly beloved horror-themed survival game is finally getting a whole new audience. This title is deeply immersive and quite creepy, is filled with tons of excellent and unforgiving mechanics, and it drip feeds you an absolutely compelling storyline. So for any PlayStation VR 2 owners out there who are looking for a new mature-themed game, I highly recommend Into the Radius. And continuing with the mature theme, the one game I'm most excited for in September is Hetal Hellsinger. This is basically a rhythm-style version of Doom. Super creepy environments to explore, rock music blasting, tons of demons to vanquish. I'm pretty much sold. I'm planning to jump into this game 30 minutes or so each day just to pump up my adrenaline and maybe get ready for the gym. This is just 100% my style of game, and after playing the demo, I'm expecting to love the entire title. But completely changing up the tempo, I'm also expecting to enjoy the puzzle-driven story title, Escaping Wonderland. I demoed this at Gamescom, and I have to say it's undeniably charming with some very clever puzzles. While it's definitely not the same style of game, it did remind me a lot of playing through Moss, as it felt like you were going through a beautifully rich world to explore. Now, I only got a small glimpse into the game's storyline, but the developers told me it's very deep and rewarding, and will change based on all of the choices you made throughout the game. Now, moving back into the action, how does an extraction shooter set in a world similar to No Man's Sky sound to you? Astro Hunter plans to be that game, and I have to say, I've never tried anything quite like it. It definitely captures that whole extraction shooter risk versus reward mentality, but usually we only experience this in a military style game. Moving an extraction shooter into sci-fi feels excellent, and the early demo of this game that I played left me extremely intrigued. Now, I only have one more officially announced release dropping this month, but I will have a few additional topics to discuss. That game is Rebeloid, coming to the PlayStation VR 2, and it's something similar to a new age brick breaker. Now, games like this can definitely be fun, but I've always wondered who's the type of person who actually buys them. Is there actually a demand for a recreation of nostalgic titles? Can you add enough elements to something like Brick Breaker to make it truly exciting? And these are not rhetorical questions, guys. Similar to how I didn't understand people's enjoyment for games like the chore simulating titles such as Power Wash Simulator, and my audience was kind enough to explain to me how and why it resonates with them, I'm looking for that same information when it comes to recreations of older titles like this. So feel free to drop any comments down below. Now, before I close out this video, I do want to mention we were supposed to get Hitman 3 Reloaded the beginning of this month, but it looks like it's been delayed till autumn. So that's basically any time between October and December. Now, I was actually hearing some rumors that the game definitely wasn't ready to launch, and if that is the case, I'm very happy they delayed it. Hitman 3 was already done dirty once with the PlayStation VR release, and I don't want to see it happen again for the Quest. Now, additionally, I'm sure we might see a few other games sneak in this month. I do have some notes on some unreleased titles that I can't mention just yet, but it doesn't look like anything amazing, and the big titles like Batman won't start until October. Now, that was today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, and as always, I'll see you guys on next time.